Good evening, folks, and as mentioned, it is night 2 of, or rather, October 2nd, and the book, Dangerous Games to Play in the Dark, and tonight we are going to have instructions for the first party game. Now, mind you, everything I say here is completely up to you to decide whether or not you want to give it a try. The first one is familiar for those who remember the 90s. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. The key components with this particular party game is that the room you are in has to be dark. It has to be lit, preferably by candles, small lights, but nothing overhead. The lights should always be on the outside. All curtains, windows, and doors should be closed. You're going to have anywhere from 4, 5, 6, 7 people. One person is going to be called the levitator. One person is going to be called the guide. The rest are lifters. And what you do is you have the levitator lay down on the floor. Probably nice to have maybe a pillow or two underneath them. And then have your lifters, all 2 fingers, index and middle, placed underneath the levitator. Now, the levitator is recommended not to say anything, not to speak, not to move, not to even open your eyes. Breathing, yes, but you want to remain completely still. The guide, who is amongst the group, the guide is sort of the orchestra leader. They're the ones that start the chants, and when everybody has their fingers, including the guide, underneath the levitator, everyone tries to lift. Now, this will fail. This will fail, expect failure. But then that is when the guide starts saying a chant to which the lifters then have to repeat. And the first is, "She is looking ill. She is looking ill." And being the guide, you have to kind of measure the cadence. There isn't a set number. You're going by feeling. She is looking ill. She is looking ill. And then you move to the second chant, which I completely lost. Oh, it's on the second page. She is looking ill, and then she is getting worse. She is getting worse, and then she is dying. She is dying. And then she is dead. She is dead. And at that point, again, as the guide, you're developing the cadence. You're moving through these lines, these chants, based on your feeling. The feeling of the room, the feeling of the atmosphere. When the moment is ready, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Everyone who is chanting must continue to chant as they are lifting. And if everyone is believing in the lift and they are believing in the chants, the levitator will begin to rise with the aid of everyone there. Now, again, the guide is the one who discerns when to lower down the person if you're successful. Do so gently and only upon the guide's direction. However, do not lose focus. Do not stop chanting. That is the important thing. Once the person is properly lowered down, blow out all the candles, open all the doors and windows. And at that point, the levitator can now speak and they can now open their eyes. However, a word of caution, if the levitator, after that moment, acts uncharacteristically of themselves, be careful. Someone else may have taken their place. Have a good night, folks.